Eggs are going to kill you if you don't eat them. Trust me. Don't be afraid of eggs, guys. People are so afraid of eating eggs. I see patients every single day in my office saying, "Doc, I'm just eating eggs twice a week." Why? Because they're going to raise my cholesterol. And you know, I have my grandmother died from heart disease, and the physician said that it was because she ate eggs every single day in the morning. And that is not true. I wanted this video to know that when you include eggs in your diet, it's going to be good for your brain health, for your cardiovascular health, for your metabolism, for losing weight, for people with diabetes, for little kids, for babies, for elders, for everyone. Eggs are really, when people talk about superfoods, that I really don't like that term, but when people go and talk about superfoods, egg is a superfood, and we're going to talk about it. But let's start with something. What are those myths that people say about eggs? Why are people so afraid? People say that eggs rise your cholesterol, and that is not true, because by the fact that eggs have cholesterol inside in the yolk, it doesn't mean that when you ingest this, you're going to have high levels of cholesterol in your diet. The way that eggs have cholesterol is in a way that's called esterified cholesterol. And esterified cholesterol, it's poorly absorbed in your intestine. So much of it, we excrete it in our feces. We don't absorb it. By the fact that eggs have amounts of cholesterol, the quantity that we're going to be ingesting, it's very low. So if you have a high cholesterol, the reason it's something else. It's not eggs. There is also another myth about eggs saying that the good eggs, when they're fresh, they sink in the water, and when they're damaged, they float. If they float or if they sink, it depends on the amount of gas that they put inside and also on the thickness of the shell. But it's not because they're old or they're going to be bad for you, so please don't try to look for this. Go and see the date that they have and try to consume them in that date, but don't fall for this. Also, people think that eggs are better if they're brown, if they're white, if they come in different colors, that they may be from a farm and which are better. And that depends, the color depends on the breed of the hen. It doesn't depend on anything else. So if you're eating white eggs, it's some variety of breeds. If you're eating eggs with a different color, there are some that are greener, there are some that are yellower, there are some that are whiter, browner, reddish, or whatever. It depends on the breed of the hen. So please don't fall for this, for thinking that specific color is going to make them better. And something that people think that when you eat raw eggs, it's better than eating them cooked. No. You find the same amount of nutrients in eggs when they're cooked than they're raw. When you eat them raw, you get the risk of getting an infection with salmonella, and that's something that we don't want. That's why my recommendation, although I see a lot of people on social media just breaking eggs and eating them like that and like being like super macho man or whatever, I don't think it's something that anyone ever is going to enjoy. And the benefits in your health are not going to be better when you eat them like that versus when you cook them well. So when we go deep into eggs, what are we going to find? We're going to find a great amount of protein. We're going to find between 6 to 7 grams of protein. We're going to find a great amount of healthy fats, more or less 5 grams of healthy fats, in which we're going to find cholesterol. We're going to find polyunsaturated fats like omegas, and we're going to find monounsaturated fats like the ones we find in olive oil. So it's very complete. But what else can we find? What other nutrients can we find? Because these are macronutrients. But what micronutrients are we going to find? First of all, we're going to find choline. Choline is very important for rest, reparation of the DNA, for all the repair that we need in our body. It's very important for our brain, for brain development in the baby, brain development in the fetus. It's very necessary through all of our lives to have a good amount of choline. And as people are so afraid of choline, no one is getting the right amount of choline that we need in our diet, and eggs are the most important source of choline in our diet. We're going to find different vitamins. So we're going to find vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin B12, vitamin B2, vitamin E, vitamin B5, and we're going also to find different amounts of minerals, such as iron, selenium, phosphorus, and iodine. So as you can see, the amount of nutrients that we have as macro and micronutrients and the amounts that we're going to find in it are very important. So there is something that we need to remember about what are the benefits of eggs in our health. So we need to remember eggs are a great source of protein, and the protein in eggs, especially on egg whites, because egg whites and the yolk both have protein, but especially on egg whites, they are the standard in the world in whichever you want to compare any protein. If you want to compare whey, beef, steak, bone broth, soy, whatever, they're always compared to eggs because the bioavailability of the protein inside eggs, it's the highest, and that's why it's the gold standard. And the amount of amino acids that they have are so complete. So we get the whole variety of essential amino acids plus the rest of the non-essential amino acids in a great range. So trust me, eggs are a great source of protein. But what are those benefits? So number one, it's a complete way of nutrition. We find great amount of nutrients in a different variety. If someone had just eggs to eat for a day or for a week, you would be in a great nutrition just by eating eggs, and it could be a complete nutrition. You might say, oh, but it's lacking of carbohydrates. We don't really need carbohydrates in our diet. The only ones that we really need are fibers. But I'm just saying in a hypothetical way, if you had to eat just one nutrient for a week, going for eggs could be something interesting or wise. Yeah, it could be. Eggs, as they have so good amount of protein and so good amount of fat, are going to be very helpful for our appetite. And appetite control depends on the effect that food has on our hormones. So when we have good amounts of fats and good amount of proteins, our appetite is going to be much more controlled. They also have a very good amount of lutein and zeaxanthin, which are two antioxidants which are important for our eye health. The other one is for our blood lipids. Blood lipids, you may say, no, eggs are bad for your cholesterol. No, actually they show that they are good improving HDL, which is something that everyone is looking for. And when we have good amounts of HDL and when we relate them with good amounts of triglycerides, we have a better performance in our blood panel. And of course, the benefits of good fats, good protein, and choline in our brain health are going to be widely important when we include eggs as a regular basis in our diet. Maybe you've seen that in Europe, decorations in which eggs came in something that they were protected. And this is the way that we will sometimes find it in restaurants, that they come in something in silver or golden. By the time they came in gold, they became so popular in Europe on the 16th century that they started protecting eggs so much in this kind of containers that actually they became fancy, coming in gold and silver containers. And this was the way that they were transported from one place into another in a container that was highly protected. But that was also the way of showing the importance of such a high nutrient protein, of such a high nutrient food. And that's why when you see on King's or very fancy restaurants or whatever, even today, they bring eggs in these containers and they open them, and that's the way that you eat them. But that's something that gained importance back on the 16th century. Okay, guys, so as you can see, eggs, it's something that we should not be afraid of. And eggs are very good for our health. It's a great nutrient. It's a very complete nutrient. It's a very complete food. It contains a wide variety of opportunities that we can bring good information, which is the way that I see food, that it's the information that we give to our cells, to our body, so every single part of our body works well. And when we include eggs, we are really making a very savvy choice into our nutrition. And that's why I want to break that myth that eating eggs is going to be something harmful, that it's going to be bad for your heart, bad for your cholesterol, when the data shows that, and when we go and see what are the effects, actually it's pretty good for your heart, pretty good for your brain, pretty good for your health, and even pretty good for your cholesterol. So enjoy eggs. Enjoy them as something that you can include in every single preparation or recipe in your diet. When you share the video, you're helping us so more people know this content, and so we can grow this community even more. And please, before you leave, please just remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so we can tell you when we make new videos, and hit the like button so we always can be in contact with you. Thank you guys, and till next time.